Today we're gonna paint dragonflies. I've listed all the supplies with links in the description below. I get really excited when I look at other artists' work, so let's start by doing that. Check out this painting by Creatively Uncorked. I appreciate the way that the artist has used vertical streaks in the sky. I also love the addition of lily pads. This painting comes from dhgate.com. I like that the dragonfly is very large and slightly off-center. Ooh, check out this super cool aerial view by Tara Jonoff. This painting was created by Christy Hawkins. I love the large size of the moon. Samantha Bell has painted several dragonflies in this picture. I like the way the grass is reflecting in the water. I love the large moon and the addition of cattails in this painting by Wendy Malloway. I enjoy the simplicity of this painting that comes from yaymaker.com. Notice the tiny stars in the sky and the different shades of green used for the grass. The first thing you will want to decide before you get started is whether you want to orient your picture vertically or horizontally. I recommend doing a quick sketch of your composition on a scratch paper. I've created several thumbnail sketches and I'm going to choose my favorite.
I'm going to walk you through a couple simple dragonfly drawings. For this one, I'm doing a simple curved line. I'm going to start with the upper wings and I'm going to make two long oval shapes. They get a little bit narrower when they touch the body. The bottom wings are going to have a similar shape, only they're going to be a little bit smaller and shorter. I'm going to create the width of the body and I'm going to let it slowly get narrower as you get to the tail. For the head, I'm going to create an oval that's a little bit wider than the shape of the body. I'm going to draw one more dragonfly here. Notice how I'm doing a straight body and I've made the wings slightly different. I'm going to sketch my picture onto the canvas. Notice how I'm using my hand to measure where I'm going to put the water line. I'm going to put my moon in the upper right-hand corner. I've decided to draw one large, slightly off-center to the left dragonfly on my canvas. Here I'm drawing some land across the water. And this is what my composition looks like. As you can see, it's super simple. Now that that's done, I thought it would be a good time to introduce today's Weirdness Challenge. For today's Weirdness Challenge, I'd like to invite you to dance in your kitchen. Don't worry about looking cool. Try to pretend that you're 5 years old and no one's watching and you're having the best time ever.
Okay, let's get back to our artwork.
Pick out the colors you'd like to use in your painting and pour them onto a flat surface. If there's a color that you don't have, you can mix it. For example, I don't have a navy blue available, so I'm taking some of my cobalt blue and I'm adding a bit of black to it. But as you can see, I've added a bit too much black, so I'm trying to make it lighter. So if you're doing this, you might take a larger amount of blue and just a tiny drop of black and mix it in. If you need any additional colors, you can mix them as you go. Before I start painting, I'm going to cover my dragonfly with some masking tape to prevent my background color from covering over my drawing. This step is optional. It's really a matter of personal preference. Another option you have would be to paint your background and let it dry and then draw your dragonfly on top of it. The reason I don't like to do this is because I find it difficult to erase pencil marks that are drawn on top of paint. Yay, now it's time to add the paint. This is my favorite part. I'm gonna start with a 1-inch flat brush and I'm gonna do a darker blue across the background. While my blue paint is still wet, I'm going to take a tiny bit of black and paint it across the top. While that dark blue paint is still wet, I'm going to take a tiny bit of light blue and blend it in with the dark blue. I'm going to be switching colors here, so I thought it would be nice to show you the method I recommend using for cleaning your brush when you're using acrylics. I take a paper towel and I pinch the brush very gently, and then I windshield wiper it to get the paint out. Then I dip it in the water. I don't stir it, don't do that. Just dip it like that. And again, I put it on the paper towel, pinch it gently, and windshield wiper it back and forth. And I repeat that process until my brush is clean. The reason this method is so awesome is that it prevents us from washing paint down the drain. When we wash paint down the drain, all of those chemicals end up in our water table and our oceans. Okay, back to painting. I'm going to add a little bit of purple and light blue into my background sky while that base coat of dark blue is still wet. I'm going to add a pink and white ring around my moon. All these steps I'm doing are really optional. It's totally up to you how you want to do your background. For example, if this all seems really complicated, you could just paint your background one solid color. I've decided to blend some yellow and white for my moon. And now that I've finished my background, I'm going to peel off that masking tape. For my next step, I'm going to paint in the land across the water. I've chosen some dark green for this, and then I'm going to add a little bit of black on top of it. I'm using a lighter blue for my water, so I'm going to take a 1-inch flat brush and do a thin solid coat of that blue. I've saved this part for last because I know my green paint is still wet and I want to paint this edge very carefully. While this blue paint is still wet, I'm going to take a tiny bit of black paint and blend it into the blue right next to the land. So it's going to be a reflection of the land in the water. If you want to keep your painting super simple, you have the option to skip this step. Just have fun and enjoy the process. While my blue paint is still wet, I'm going to take a tiny brush and a little bit of yellow, white, and black and make these straight lines across my water to give the effect of reflection of moonlight and shadows. It's great to have Q-tips on hand. These are a handy tool for fixing any mistakes and also for removing any areas of your painting that may have excess paint on them, such as right here where my dragonfly is. I'm going to take a tiny brush and paint the body of my dragonfly a medium gray color. I'm going to take my tiny brush and a little bit of white paint, and I'm going to paint along the right edge of my dragonfly. This will create the effect of moonlight reflecting on the dragonfly's body. I'm using my brush to blend the edge of this white paint in with the gray paint. Now I'm adding some white horizontal streaks to define the edges of the body. Again, totally optional. Let your own process be intuitive and fun, and just feel into how you want to paint your dragonfly. In order to create shadow, I'm taking a tiny bit of black paint and painting it along the left side of my dragonfly's body. With a tiny brush, I'm painting the wings of my dragonfly white, and then I'm adding tiny streaks of yellow, pink, and blue to create a translucent effect. I'm adding 2 tiny light gray dots for the eyes. Now I'm going to add some grass and cattails in my foreground. I've decided to use a black color for my cattails and a couple different shades of green for those long blades of grass. I'm going to take a tiny brush and add some dots of white paint in the sky to create the effect of stars. Notice how I'm making these stars different sizes. Yay! I teach super fun live online art workshops for kids as well as for adults. You can find out information about this by visiting my website, rainbowparrotart.com. You can support this work by subscribing to this channel and clicking on the little bell icon so you'll get notifications when new videos come out, and by liking this video. I like the way they look. Check out this super cool area view by